Welcome to an episode of Fun with Desmos, aka how to do your extra credit project. Woo! Okay, so here's Desmos, and if you go down, you can see people have created art on Desmos. So let's look at this Disney logo castle, for example. So this person created this logo with equations, a lot, but so these are all lines. Wow, that's a lot. Well, that's a circle. Wow. Those are also arcs. I don't know what a flag is. I guess like an absolute value kind of thing. Oh, the flags. He means, okay, the little flags, how we made them. So, not to this extent, but that's what we're going to do. So, original project. You know, I can just Google it and see if I can find it, just like you could. So if you launch calculator, we learned about a few different parent functions. We learned about y equals x. We learned about y equals the square root of x. And if you go down to functions, oh no, you can do here. Root x, which looks like that. We learned about y equals x squared. And what else did we learn about? We learned about x cubed. And most recently, 1 over x. We learned about exponential. And we learned about logarithms. If you want to do, a log of any base, go to functions, miscellaneous, log base A. I'll do the inverse, and there's a log. Okay, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to create a picture using at least one of each of these parent functions. You can, with transformations. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of functions you have to have. And you have to create some sort of drawing. It has to be an actual object. It can't just be like the original art. Just like, here's a bunch of crazy lines. Yay. Now, you might be thinking, how do I do this? It's just a bunch of lines. Like, how do I actually make it a picture? So here's my advice to you, because this is quite the challenge. Is to first think of an idea. So like, I don't know, I'm going to try to create a ukulele or something. So for that, I'm going to do, and you can like have multiple things if you're worried about the objects. So I'm going to make this move to the left. Well, that's too big. And that moves to the right 3. But you might be like worried about the whole function. Like you just want a piece of it. Like if I'm trying to do a ukulele, I just want the bottom. Like let's say I'm trying to do the bottom of the ukulele. So I want it to be a bit fatter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to horizontally stretch it by a factor of 3. Ooh, that's good. Looks like the bottom of my ukulele here. Maybe I'll make it even fatter. Make it 1/4. That looks good. So let's say I just want from here to here for the bottom. Now what I can do on Desmos is restrict the domain. And this is going to be the most useful. So you're going to do this with curly brackets. And if you want to restrict the domain, you're restricting x values. So let's see, I want x to only give me the outputs between 0 and let's say like 25. So I would say x is between 0. See, look how it cut off everything to the left of 0. It's only giving me those outputs, and I want it to be less than 25. That doesn't look too even. So let me make it 20. Yeah, that looks good. 24. That's symmetrical. So that would be like the bottom of my ukulele. And then let's say I want to include a line. So you know what? I'll put x equals 0 for this piece. And I'll restrict that. Now this, since it's a vertical line, I want to restrict the y value. So I want y to be greater than 10, but less than, let's say, 15. So you can also restrict ranges. So I just have this little green piece for the ukulele. And I'm going to do that same thing on the right. Oh, you know what, that 15's... I'm going to make this 8. You want to make things match up and intersect. Let's see, where do I want this one? I want this to be x equals 24. And it's going to come down a little bit to 9. Okay, and then let's say I want to make the curvy inside. So I'll add a logarithm. Let's see, if I just put log of x, that's way down here. So I'm going to vertically stretch it by a factor of 3. And make it even bigger. Move it up by 10. Let's move it up to 15, 20. Well, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to restrict the domain so that I just get it from, let's see, x has to be greater than or equal to 0.5, no, 0.2, that's pretty good. And then I don't want it to go further than 4. Yeah, so like I'm getting the shape of the figure here, and then I'll do the same thing. So let's see, I want it to be over here. So what I'm going to do is reflect it over the y-axis, which that reflected over x, that was no good. So let's see, 8 log negative x. There we go. Move it up 20. But I want it to move to the right a bunch, so it comes over to the right. So I'm going to add, oh, keep going. Too far. 24. 24.5. 0.2. There, that looks pretty good. And then I'll restrict the domain because I just want a piece of it. So I want x to be bigger than, and you can just kind of play around with it. That looks good. And then greater, less than, that's too much. Ooh. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I would have to keep going. I'll do the top of the thing, ukulele, get the strings with vertical lines, get a circle in the middle. So far I've used 3 functions. Now I need to get like an exponential in there. So let's see, if I move this up 10, 25, 24, and if I want to move it to the right, let's say like 3, I got to change the inside. No, inside. X minus 3. Move it 4. All right. So maybe I could use this little piece as like a little curve here. Maybe I'll make it more narrow. Make it base 2. I don't know if this is boring or not. Watch me just play with this, but this is essentially what I want you to be doing. To draw an original picture that uses one of each type of function we learned this year, and that's outlined on the paper. So you're going to be playing with transformations, bunch of transformations, and restricting domains, and getting an original picture. So I would start thinking about a sketch in mind and think about a way you can incorporate all the different functions and then make it come to life on Desmos. And then just, print it out and discuss all the transformations. That's it. So you definitely probably ain't gonna end up with more than just the basic transformation parent. One of each, I mean. More than just one of each. Because if you want a good drawing, and the better job you do, the more credit you'll receive. And this is much easier than doing it by hand or on a calculator. So that's nice. And maybe I picked a hard thing. Maybe if you pick something with only minor curves. I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of talking. So, yeah, enjoy.